Okay, so I'm going to show you my harvest, and then I'm going to educate you guys a little bit on peppers. Okay, so we've got some peppers, and I'm going to tell you about them. But first, let me kind of show you what is going on here with the harvest. So right here, we've got cucumbers, and they're not very large. This is the last of them. The plants are now dead. I've got one zucchini over here. It was green, and I let it stay on way too long, and it's now an orange. It is still safe to eat. Here we've got yellow squash. You can see there are different varieties. So I've got crook neck and I've got straight neck on here. They're basically the same thing. It's just a different variety. A couple of them I left on way too long. They are now deep orange. They are still safe to cook and eat though. Back here we've got okra. First time growing it, and there is a lot of it for just 4 plants. It filled that container up. Okra, you want to use that in gumbo. You'll cut the seed pods, and inside will be the little vegetable, I guess, and that's what you would use for gumbo. Now with these peppers, let me show you these real quick. Okay, so you can see there are green and red. These are jalapenos. So I've got some other varieties out there as well, but with jalapenos, basically the green, let me hold them up again, hold on. Okay, so the green one typically will be less sweet and less hot than the red one, okay? It's not guaranteed that way. Basically, the red ones, they're guaranteed to be hotter and sweeter, so more sweet, more heat, than when it specifically was green itself. But as a rule of thumb, generally, yes, it will hold a little more heat than these, but they're not guaranteed. It depends on the weather. You know, depending on what state you're in, watering, all that stuff goes into it. The heat is developed from having more capsaicin, so if you let it on to become red, it's had more time to get more capsaicin in the fruit, okay, or vegetable. You could dry them and smoke them to make a chipotle, or you could make them in a sauce as well, like a sriracha sauce. Or if you want, you can dry your peppers and dehydrate them out and just grind them up to use as seasoning. So there are all kinds of things you can do with peppers, and a lot of my coworkers who grow them, I've got a guy on the job who grows a lot of them. I only grew a few this year, but he's harvested them by the bucketful, and he makes all kinds of sauces with them. So it's a fun thing to grow. My horticulture teacher at college, he has over 10,000 pounds of them right now, and he breeds them through generations to become stronger plants so they don't blow over in the wind and stuff. It's kind of a fun thing to do. My specialty is tomatoes. His is peppers. My coworker on the job, his is peppers. Whatever your favorite vegetable or fruit is to grow, go with it. And don't hold back. Next year, I would encourage you guys to get out there and do it. We've got 4 pumpkins out there. They're sugar pie pumpkins, and I'm letting them stay on a little longer because I don't want them to rot. And we've got small, tiny little ones following those as well. So we're still getting an October harvest, and it's a good thing. We put plants out late this year, and we're still getting the benefits. Our first frost has not come. For West Virginia, the first frost is typically between October, if I'm remembering right, October 14th and 28th, somewhere in that time frame usually. There is a little trick you can do. Your first foggy morning after Labor Day, you count 45 days after that, and that's supposed to give you your first day of frost. It's an old wives' tale. I don't know if it's true or not, but you could try it. We had a few foggy mornings. I didn't think to count down from the first one. But anyway, hope you guys learned a little bit about peppers today, and I hope you're encouraged to grow your favorite vegetable next year. Start those seeds 3 to 6 weeks before your first frost. So the horticulture teacher at WVUP, that's Parkersburg's local campus, he's got yellow ghost peppers. That's 125 times hotter than a jalapeno. And then his red version of the Buchalokia is 170 times hotter than Tabasco sauce. That's over 1 million Scoville units. His favorite breed is what he calls the Crystal Caro. And then these are some of the other plants that they are growing in the horticulture class, and they have transitioned to larger pots.